In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace an old GFCI outlet with a USB and C port outlet. You can see that's the GFCI outlet that comes with a USB and a C port. I'll put a link in the description down below so you can get one of these. Replacement GFCI with a built-in USB and USB-C option, built-in GFCI outlet. I will link this in the video description down below if you guys are interested in this GFCI outlet with a USB port. So let's get into replacing it. Before working on replacing your electrical outlet receptacle, always be sure to turn off your circuit breaker. Always double checking your electrical outlet to make sure there's no voltage. And always check it with a voltage tester to check to make sure that there's no power in the circuit when working on replacing the GFCI outlet receptacle or even a regular outlet. Just need to unscrew these both side terminal connections and know which goes through the load and line side. Make sure you separate both of these wires so you don't get confused to which way you connect them once you wire your new outlet. You can see these are the two. You can see these two wires. Just always got to verify on which one connects to which. So this one in the back says load and line side. So the line side is the main power that's getting fed from this one. So it's always good to verify on which one is hot. So this one is the one I verified. Usually, it's always good to check with a voltage tester or a tick tracer that will tell on which wire it is. Don't just be getting confused checking on which wire goes to which. It's always good to verify the wires for the hot that you need to find. So if you find a hot wire, you connected it to the line side that gets the main power in. And then this one is the load side that goes downstream to the branch circuit that powers it once you reset the GFCI outlet. It's always good to read your user's manual if you're not familiar with wiring, but it's always good to check what your wiring configurations. And it tells you on which way to connect, making sure you wire it right. So you just need to connect your white wire. Just need to connect the line side and make sure the power is off when you're doing this, so you don't get zapped. And connect the hot wire on this gold terminal. Make sure they're tight, not loose or anything. Make sure the wires are in there properly with both sides, and make sure you tighten them to make sure you get a good connection before you put power to this one. And don't forget to connect your grounding to the bottom of the electrical GFCI outlet. That's your green. Just need to connect it to your grounding connection. Don't forget to install your ground screw that goes on the bottom of your GFCI or sometimes on the side, and make sure your wires are wired properly. Just need to tuck the wires in to the outlet. You can see, check to make sure that both of your wires are wired right on the right spot, and make sure that the ground is properly connected to the GFCI outlet. Once you're done wiring everything, the ground, the hot and the neutral, make sure it's wired on the right spot. And if it is, just tuck the wires into the junction box. You can see these are the screws that it came with. So I'm gonna change it up with these type of screws. That's gonna go for this metal junction box, because you can see mine's is over the backsplash. So I'm gonna use bigger junction screws. Just be sure to know the size on what you're using, and it should work with no issues. And being sure that it's not hitting any wires through the junction, which we don't have anything hitting on through this junction box. But for sure we have a ground in there, so that will trip a breaker. If there's something hitting against metal, it will trip the breaker. So for sure I'm gonna change these 2 Phillips screws that it came with, because those ones were too short and my backsplash is over the junction box. So figuring I'm going to use these longer screws, and it should work. And these will work just fine. Just be sure you check your junction box inside for any wires not hitting through the metal. But for sure I have a good junction box that is not going to interfere, really hit the wires. Figuring we have a ground fault circuit interrupter with a GFCI having a ground built in to this receptacle box, so it shouldn't be a problem. Figuring I would just change these, because for sure the screws that it came with was for the type of applications you could probably have. At least if yours wasn't a problem, you could just screw it in and just have it on installed to the junction box. But figuring these screws are a little too short, so I'm gonna change it with this one, and this one will for sure go in, which it does. So just always keep in mind on what screws you're using, if you know in the size you're using, which shouldn't be a problem, because these are metal screws that you can use for a metal junction box too, which it already came like this when I had the old GFCI outlet right here that was actually connected to these, which never had an issue. So figuring, just be sure you know on what type of screws you're using. Even if it's a metal junction box, shouldn't be a problem. Just be sure you know, checking in your junction box to make sure you're not hitting anything. Just be sure you have a ground connected properly, and make sure the junction box is not hitting against the metal part of the outlet. Make sure you use electric tape to tape all around there for any exposed connectors areas, so this doesn't arc against metal. But if it ever happens, there's a ground that will trip the breaker. If hot wire shorts to ground or touches metal, it can spark, potentially trip the breaker. And if you don't have a ground, that's for sure why most people install GFCI outlets on an outlet in older homes that didn't use grounding. Once you're done taping it all around, you can install the outlet back into the junction box. And I just put drywall screws, which they're long enough to screw into this outlet box, which is a metal junction, which you can see it's grabbing very well. These metal screws, which can go for metal junctions, which not a problem as long as you're using the right screws that can fairly grab in properly, to make sure you are using them properly, and make sure you don't coarse thread them when screwing them in. And if you're not, you're good. Don't have to worry about damaging your junction box. But these junction boxes are for sure designed to work with these type of screws, as long as you're installing it properly, making sure you don't cause any kinds of issues. just need to pop in this outlet cover. And you're done. So I'm going to turn on the power and show you guys this GFCI working. We're going to turn on the breaker and check to see if the GFCI is working. The power's back on. Let's push the reset button and see if this GFCI works. It's working. GFCI is not tripping, and the test button is here for testing GFCI. Trips. Reset button works. Have my GFCI outlet tester to check if it's wired properly, which it is. Let's test the GFCI. GFCI passed, so this means that the GFCI receptacle is working. Reset button works. Even the test button is for testing monthly to make sure the GFCI is functioning. You can see there's a green indicator light that tells you it's functioning, but if it's flashing red, this will tell you GFCI has to be replaced, meaning it won't function anymore with ground fault protection, meaning it will go into trip mode to where if you try pushing the reset button when there's power and you see a red light blinking on your GFCI outlet, that's for sure it will tell you your GFCI is faulty. And that's how you replace a GFCI outlet to a new GFCI outlet with a built-in USB port. And thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please consider hitting the like button. Make sure you click that subscribe button if you haven't already on this repair channel. And have a great day and stay safe. Bye.